And with the U.S. now unleashing airstrikes in Syria and building a coalition against ISIS, Fox News host Bill O'Reilly is offering his own solution, a new volunteer mercenary army. O'Reilly is also here with another provocative idea about one of the most colorful and outrageous generals in American history.
It is the focus of his new book, Killing Patton, the strange death of World War II's most audacious general. Bill O'Reilly joins us for an interview you're seeing first on CBS This Morning. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me in. I appreciate it.
Well, we want to talk about General Patton in your book, but first, these strikes in Syria against ISIS. Is the president doing the right thing and doing it the right way?
Yes, he's doing it a little too late. Well, a lot too late, but he's doing the right thing.
And what's your idea that might have made it an alternative?
Well, intelligence sources tell us at the Factor that they were intensely advising President Obama a year ago, 1 year ago, that this ISIS army was growing in power and financial strength and it had to be neutralized. But the president did not want to take action for a number of reasons. So it did. And obviously now it's a threat to the world. And since the world is largely cowardly, the United States has to lead the way to try to, degrade these people and wipe them out.
And last night you offered an idea that some say is very unique on your show. You called for a mercenary army to defeat ISIS. How would that work?
Under congressional approval and authority, the United States would train and pay well mercenary troops from all over the world. We would select them. The special forces would train them, 25,000-man force, to be deployed to fight on the ground against worldwide terrorism, not just ISIS. And that would be a permanent force. And it would take the politics out of it. What's killing the West now in this fight on terror, and Putin as well, is the politics of it. Can't get anything done quickly, can't mobilize fast. So it's going to happen. This anti-terror army is going to happen.
Why do you always say that? Why do you say all the things you say, Bill, with such certainty?
Because I'm always right, Gail. You know that.
I know you think so.
On my show 6 months ago, I said to President Obama, you're going to have to bomb these guys in Syria. And last night it happened. It's not that I'm so smart. It's just that there's a trajectory of worldwide terrorism that has to be confronted. Everybody knows it has to be confronted. Yet they dither and they dally and they delay and they obfuscate, and it's got to stop. Or we're going to have more beheadings. We're going to have a beheading every day unless they knock these guys out.
You know, the people who make these decisions say it's always easy to be the critic on the outside. Yes. It's harder to be the person on the inside who's planning those things. And putting together 5 Arab nations to launch this coordinated attack in Syria to get Bashar al-Assad, essentially give him a heads up so he doesn't use his air defenses against our warplanes. That takes time, doesn't it? It
takes time, but I want to take that out. Look, it's nice that Jordan and Saudi Arabia helped us, but it doesn't mean anything. It's all symbolic. It's not propaganda. It's a PR thing.
But you don't want another story about the U.S. attacking in another Muslim country.
That's right. We don't want the United States to have to do it all, which is why this army would be funded, by the way, by the coalition, not the United States, but it would be under the United States authority, trained here. But we have to take the politics out of worldwide terrorism. We have to. And that's the way to do it, to have a strong NATO coalition, because they would be involved with this, and then a 25,000-man force to be deployed where we need them.
So Mike Morrell, who you know,
I saw him today earlier.
Former number 2 at the CIA, was here a week ago talking about this group called Khorasan, this offshoot of al-Qaeda, which the U.S. Central Command, in their statement last night, said they attacked this specific group and bomb-making facilities because of an imminent threat to the United States.
Sure. But this makes my point. These guys, there's just a million of them. They just pop up, whether it's Yemen or Somalia or here or there, and you just can't have this unwieldy apparatus saying, well, maybe we'll get them, but maybe we have to go over here. You have to have a central command, an authority to fight worldwide terrorism, and we don't have it now. And I don't think we have the will yet. It's going to take another 9/11 attack for the world to get the will.
Well, I think the will is growing, Bill.
I do. But I'll tell you what, I was telling Gail this in the green room. If Patton were the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, believe me, this war would be fought in a different way.
You say it would be a whole different ballgame because?
Because Patton was bring the battle to the enemy. Don't wait until you're hit and react. We've been waiting. Everybody knows the evil that exists in this world. These people are Nazis, all right? This is the same mentality that Hitler brought. There's no difference. And now we have Iran also giving us a hard time about nukes. They're right in the shadows here. And you have Putin. trying to resurrect a Stalin-esque expansion. We had a lot of problems here, and we better wise up and start to get a central authority to deal with some of them.
Yeah, your book comes at a very interesting time. You clearly see parallels, and we're going to talk about in the next half hour. But there's a big New York Times ad. Are you familiar?
New York Times is just thrilled about
I
having
said to Bill,
me.
have you seen this ad? He goes, yes, I've seen it. I wrote it. The most anticipated book of 2014. We're going to talk to you about your book coming up in the next half hour. So you'll be glad to stick around.
I will be. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Even though he told me, guys in the room, he's not a morning person.
There you go.
To say the least.